Right now, approximately 1 in 3 adults worldwide is walking around with metabolic dysfunction-associated steatotic liver disease. Most of them have no idea it's there. If left unchecked, MASLD causes inflammation and deep cellular scarring. But your liver possesses a unique biological advantage. Given the right chemical inputs, it is the only organ in the human body that can completely regenerate itself. The rapid spread of this condition tracks almost perfectly with the global adoption of highly processed, convenience-based Western diets. When diagnosed, the standard medical advice is simply to modify your diet, but trying to build a daily protocol from unranked internet lists of superfoods usually leaves you with a grocery bill you can't afford and a routine you can't maintain. To fix this, we must look at these superfoods through the lens of return on investment. The x-axis tracks the input required, measuring the cost in money and daily effort. The y-axis measures output, its clinical efficacy in reducing intrahepatic fat and cellular scarring. Healing your liver requires targeted investment. Success comes from focusing on the high-leverage swaps that fit your specific budget and lifestyle. Let's start in the high-impact, low-effort quadrant. These are the zero-friction protectors: coffee and green tea. At a cellular level, coffee is packed with chlorogenic acid, while green tea provides a polyphenol called EGCG. These compounds act as direct shields, actively suppressing the specific cells responsible for creating liver scar tissue. Large-scale clinical data shows that consuming 3 to 4 cups of filtered black coffee a day correlates with a 49% drop in liver-related mortality. But the protective ROI of this category has a strict boundary condition. Adding heavy cream or sugar immediately triggers the exact lipogenic damage these antioxidants are trying to prevent. Moving to the top right of the chart, we find the high-cost, high-yield fats: oily fish, extra virgin olive oil, avocados, and walnuts. Your body is biologically incapable of producing long-chain omega-3s like EPA and DHA. You have to import them from whole food sources like wild-caught salmon and sardines, so they can physically displace toxic saturated fats in your liver. Similarly, the high concentrations of monounsaturated fats in avocados and extra virgin olive oil are proven to directly counteract oxidative stress inside the mitochondria of your liver cells. The clinical weight of this category was established in the Direct Plus trial, conducted by international research teams, including Harvard University. They found that an 18-month Green Mediterranean dietary protocol cut the prevalence of fatty liver disease entirely in half. As part of that protocol, participants consumed exactly 28 grams of walnuts daily. That specific intervention alone drove a 39% reduction in intrahepatic fat. The trade-off here is financial and mathematical. Premium olive oils and fresh fish require a high budget, and these healthy fats are incredibly calorie-dense. Consuming them without strict portion control will push you into a caloric surplus. If your body is actively storing excess energy, you will block the exact metabolic weight loss required to heal the liver. Down in the bottom right corner, requiring moderate clinical specific impact but high daily preparation, is the gut filter scaffolding: dark leafy greens, cruciferous vegetables, beans, and beetroot. These whole plant foods provide the massive bulk of raw materials your internal detoxification enzymes require to function. A landmark study out of the Karolinska Institutet demonstrated that the naturally occurring inorganic nitrates found heavily in spinach and kale actively prevent the accumulation of fat droplets inside the liver. Meanwhile, cruciferous vegetables like broccoli and Brussels sprouts provide choline. Your liver uses choline as a literal taxi service, packaging fat molecules and exporting them out of the cells so they don't cause swelling. Legumes and beans serve a different mechanical function. Their high-viscosity soluble fiber acts as a physical speed bump in your digestive tract, severely slowing down sugar absorption to prevent massive insulin spikes. The cost of entry for this category is high daily meal prep, alongside a frustrating initial period of bloating as your digestive system adapts to processing real fiber after years of refined foods. But no amount of spinach or salmon will save your liver if you ignore the biological prerequisite for all of this. You must shut off the primary inflammatory pipeline. The most efficient destroyer of liver tissue is concentrated liquid fructose, consumed globally by the gallon in sodas, sweetened juices, and high fructose syrups. Unlike regular glucose, fructose is processed almost entirely in the liver. When it hits the organ in a massive liquid dose, It triggers de novo lipogenesis, forcing cells to convert sugar directly into dense, toxic fat. The clinical math for reversing this damage is strict. Dropping just 5% of your total body weight begins to clear out the accumulated fat. Hitting a 10% reduction actually begins to reverse the deep cellular scarring. Healing requires a systemic replacement of your inputs. Adding superfoods to an inflammatory diet will not clear the fat on its own. To turn this clinical data into a usable daily routine, we can translate our quadrant chart into a direct scorecard based on the exact resources you have available right now. If you are highly budget conscious or severely strapped for time, do not stress over wild-caught salmon or premium imported olive oils. Your minimum viable action is simple. Heavily utilize the cheap, zero-friction protectors by drinking filtered black coffee. Swap your refined carbohydrates for inexpensive beans to build that metabolic speed bump, and strictly eliminate all liquid fructose. But if you've received a severe MASLD diagnosis and require an aggressive, proactive intervention, you need to execute the higher-tier strategy. Your optimal reversal involves fully adopting the Green Mediterranean protocol. Invest in high-quality extra virgin olive oil. Measure out your 28 grams of daily walnuts and commit entirely to that 10% total body weight reduction target. Do not attempt to overhaul your entire kitchen by tomorrow morning. Look at this matrix and choose exactly one category to master this week. Tell me in the comments below which specific dietary input you are going to swap first. Your liver is highly resilient. It just needs you to stop feeding the friction and start giving it the raw materials to rebuild.